Today we stand at an important juncture of our nation's economic, and should I say, social and political trajectory. While I use an innocuous word such as important to describe the juncture we are at, a poll around this room, indeed the business community at large, is likely to throw up a wide spectrum of adjectives, including those pointing to uncertainty and even despondence. Overall, a predominance of negativity and retraction rather than positivity, hope, and determination. Our concern for our nation's economy and therefore the long-term well-being of our people are not unfounded and are reflective of economic performance realities. We are today a $90 billion economy, and when placed within a set of 10 comparable regional peers comprising of all SAARC nations, plus Indonesia and Malaysia from ASEAN, our economy is ranked the fourth smallest in absolute terms. This is not such a big issue, and we can in fact be proud of the fact that we hold a third rank in terms of per capita GDP. In this respect, we are also the highest ranked in terms of per capita GDP within SAARC. Of concern, however, is that the point that our growth rate of 3.7% this year is the lowest. That is the 10th rank in the same 10-country set. It is hence the going forward trajectory we need to be concerned about, especially in a frame relative to our regional peers. Our positioning relative to peers also throws the headlights on national competitiveness and the question whether we as a private sector have focused sufficiently on building competitive advantage as a pathway to growth. Last but most significantly, today our nation is threatened by the emergence of the sinister clouds of extremism and radicalization, which if unabated will fracture the unity and collective momentum of Sri Lanka's economy. The future of our economy, as well as our nation at large, will be what we make of it. We are born to a nation blessed with world-class talent. We have in our midst large, medium, and small enterprises who in their own right are global, regional, and domestic champions. A private sector which has collectively weathered many waves of economic, political, and external turmoil over the past 3 decades, and which has on all occasions bounced back to the trajectory of growth, creating in its wake a foundation for peace and harmony. In contrast with this resilience, the sentiment of despondence instills myopia in vision and stunts creativity. A counterproductive vortex which will take us deeper into mediocre economic performance, unless abated. The call of the hour is therefore to have no forbearance for despondence. If we are truly the engine of growth of the Sri Lankan economy, we need to be resolute in our belief that as a collective, we have the capacity to re-mobilize a growth trajectory which at least is on par with our regional peers, if not ahead and more rapid. Each action we take individually may admittedly be a small step of faith as opposed to a giant leap. But collectively, we will make strides. It is hence imperative to catalyze a wave of economic resurgence and to do so with positivity and determination. Resurgence, which envisions the return to growth rates of 7 to 8% within the next 5 years. Resurgence, which also places us in a leading position in terms of growth, competitiveness, and social development indices relative to our regional peers. In fact, today, 17 committees within the Chamber ecosystem are working on bringing together a private sector-led action plan towards reaching a $140 billion economy, combined with 7% growth rates and regionally benchmarked social development indices by the year 2025. In line with the vision of the Chamber, our aspirations for economic and social advancement will be indelibly anchored on the fundamentals of social equity. Leading the resurgence, as opposed to hoping for brighter externalities, is the mindset change we in the private sector will need to undertake in these times of uncertainty. We must also lead the way in epitomizing and protecting national unity and harmony, leaving no room for the embers of irrationality and opportunism to disrupt this very determined and forward journey. It is indeed possible, in the contrary, to seek refuge in a view that the fracturing of the political and social environment is beyond the control of the private sector. But do we not also subscribe to the common wisdom that the root of all problems lies with economic fundamentals, either in the form of disparity or in the form of distribution? Do we not also simultaneously pride ourselves in being the driving force of Sri Lanka's economy? Herein we must see a paradox between what we claim to be and what we deliver. And as drivers of the economy, we need to seek out and eradicate all those instances of social inequity which underlie the imbalances and disturbances to our macro environment in the medium and longer term. We need to be resolute in our commitment to be leaders of the solution rather than take refuge in being part of the problem.